So is everyone doing okay with the professional history? What's wrong? You serious?
She didn't, yeah. When she sent it to me, it was nothing on it. You did it in your email, you didn't say it.
Oh, I did. I didn't say that. Was that?
Let me see.
Alright, so we talked a little bit about hard skills and soft skills. Some of you looked up the hard skills. Anyone want to give me a definition of hard skills? What are hard skills? That are what? Okay. Anyone else? Definition of hard skills?
Right here in front of job. Put your full name.
What about the definition of soft skills?
And then today's date.
Go ahead.
Skills that you learned in the past, and that's not up to today's technology. Personal.
So you remember where it is in Dropbox, right?
Okay. Soft skills aren't really. The way I like to think of it is hard skills are more measurable. Okay, they're more quantifiable. So you're able to count. You're able to know whether it's something that it's like learning Excel. You either know it or you don't know it. But whether or not you're nice, it's going to kind of depend on the person's opinion of you, right? Are you going to say something?
No, I was just going to answer what you said about soft skills.
Okay, tell us your definition.
Soft skills is really interpersonal, feeling your people skills, how you're able to relate to other people. Also, to me, you're listening, how you are able to listen and to intertwine the person that you're speaking to.
Okay, great. So I have hard skills, technical or administrative procedures related to an organization's core business, i.e. computer proficiency, excellent typing skills, speaking a foreign language. Right, those are all things that are quantifiable. You're able to find out if a person knows them or not, often by a test or by doing a hard piece of work. Soft skills are typically hard to observe, and they quantify or they measure. They're people's skills, right? So an example is a pleasant voice, cooperative spirit. So a lot of your classes here at the Academy focus on what? They focus more on the hard skills, right? They're the advanced computers, basics computers, reading, writing, basic business communications. The TNS classes, actually, and the BBC classes, a little bit more of the soft skill classes, right? These are classes that are a little harder to observe. They're more quantifiable. We talk a lot in here, although we have the resume. We talk a lot about the way you interact with people, right? The way you're going to interact with a potential employer, the way you're going to sell yourself. That is all a soft skill, okay? Those are all things that you do. And, we learn again and again that soft skills maybe aren't as important. It's more important to have your hard skills mastered. And I definitely think there's a good amount of, explanation behind that, and I think that's true. But soft skills are almost equally important because you need to be able to interact with people, right? If your goal is customer service, you need to, it's almost a hard skill for you to be able to interact with people, right? But also, even if it's not, if your goal is something different, you're still going to be working with people a lot. I can't tell you how many times, not necessarily in this job, but in others, you know, you have meetings with coworkers, and you have to get along well with coworkers. You have to do a presentation, again, with coworkers, right? What are some other times that you need to have good soft skills? You need to be able to get along well with people, have your people skills improved.
Supervisor.
Yeah, interacting with your supervisor, interacting with customers.
Networking.
Absolutely. When you're networking, when you guys are looking for a job, that's a great example of the time when your soft skills are so important. Because you need to be able to sell yourself. You need to try and get some of these people that you network with on board for you, right? And you want them to help you find a job. So you definitely want to make sure you have good soft skills at that juncture. When are some other times we use soft skills? Michael? Okay, that's great. So what do we talk a lot about in this class? Interviewing. And yeah, interviewing might be more of a soft skill. So that's great. Anything else? Those are all some really, really good examples, guys. And I think they give you a little bit better understanding of how important the soft skills are in finding a job, right? But the interview is just one time that you're going to be using those soft skills. But think of all those times before it, when you're going to be networking, when you're going to be relying on people to give you recommendations, right? Professional references is something that we all need for our next job. So we have to have good interactions with the people that we used to work with in order to get those references and those recommendations. So it's just something we kind of wanted to touch on in this class. Make sure you guys know the difference. And again, we stress, I think, the hard skill classes in the academy and in other educational programs, but I think that we can all agree that soft skills are just as important, especially in finding a job. I think we're going to do that for homework. So we're going to talk a little bit today about the 30-second commercial. It's really the meat of this class. Does anyone know what a 30-second commercial is? Anna?
It's when you tell them a little about yourself, your history of your work experience.
Great. Anyone else? Anyone ever hear of a different name for it? Yeah, you're selling yourself. Who said that? Okay. It might be called your elevator pitch. Okay, that's something that I've heard it referred to a lot. Why is it called your elevator pitch? Deb, what do you think? Why do you think it's called your elevator pitch?
Alligator pitch.
Elevator.
Oh, elevator.
Yeah, no, as silly as that sounds, it's true. Do you have any? Because it's something that you need to be able to tell someone in a short elevator ride.
Right.
While you're in front of them, I mean, when you're on an elevator with someone,
We got a quick second.
there is no escaping you, right?
Right. Okay. So
But-
you gotta sell yourself real quick.
You got to sell yourself real quick. It's your elevator pitch or your 30-second commercial. 30-second commercial kind of defines it a little better. Wants to be short and sweet, right? So in this class, when we do your 30-second commercials, we're going to time you. We're going to time you just so you have a little bit of an idea how long it is. We want you to be around 30 seconds. Some people get up and say their elevator pitch or the 30-second commercial and they will talk for a minute and a half. You need to have it shortened down because just like Deb said, it's something you need to be able to say in the elevator when you meet a potential employer. What are some other times that you might come across a situation where you're going to use it?
Bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom. Okay. The bus. You know, whether or not you're at the bus stop, on the actual bus, the train. Anything Something else? What's another really important place that you're going to use this?
Job.
Okay, in front of your family, what were you going to say? Is that what you were saying? Great, a job fair. That is a really important time you're going to use it because you don't have, who's been to a job fair? Let me see a show of hands.
I have been.
They are packed, right
Yes,
guys?
they are.
You have a short amount of time to really sell yourself to the recruiter. It has to be short, sweet. It has to be about 30 seconds long, right?
Right.
So you're going to use it when you sell yourself at a job fair, when you talk to a prospective employer. What else? What else is it? Anna?
Volunteer.
Okay. Okay. Great. So the volunteer opportunity is something that we're all going to do before TNS too, right? Internships and volunteers we think are really important because it helps you build those connections. Okay. But another time that I was thinking of that you're going to be able to use it is during the interview. It's pretty much the answer to tell me about yourself, right? It's short, it's sweet, it's concise. So when a prospective employer says, tell me about yourself, you're going to be able to use bits and pieces of your 30-second commercial. I think everyone does. But it's a great opportunity to use this piece that we practice a lot in this class, and you'll have a short, concise, good answer. And I want to have this class be a little bit more about teamwork. So we're going to all kind of evaluate one another. You're going to hear each person get up and do their 30-second commercial or their elevator pitch. And then we're going to talk about it as a class. You know, is there something that you think's missing from their pitch? What would you add to it? So definitely be open about giving feedback here, because this is your opportunity to share and to all work together on this piece. Okay? Let's look at an example. You know what, and there's one other time I want to talk about when you use it. So what's something that you need to do when applying for a job?
Make sure you dress appropriately.
You guys both said dress appropriately? Okay, that's good. What else do you have to do when you are looking for a job?
Have a good attitude.
Perfect, Deb. What else? Dale?
You should do some background work on a company that you're going to interview with.
Perfect. But before you get that interview, what do you have to do? What do you have to do in order to get the interview usually? Apply for it. Right, there you go, the cover letter. So you're going to be surprised. One of the things that I think, we start with the 30-second commercial, but you're going to be really surprised when we do the cover letters at the end of this class, how much of your 30-second commercial you're going to put into your cover letter. I'm putting it up here, but I don't know why. But your 30-second commercial can really translate into your cover letter. It can translate into that middle paragraph of your cover letter. You know, introductory paragraph is the first. The second one is the meat. It's where you tell about yourself and your experiences. And then your third paragraph is your closing. So that's the format we're going to use a little bit, and we'll talk more about that later with the cover letters. But you're going to be using almost everything you do in your 30-second commercial in your cover letter. Great. So I want to just look at an example real quick. I'm hoping this works.
Yeah, I have yours. She's gone. Oh. Yeah, I have yours.
A lot of people obviously come to us with a question of how do I stand out? I mean, most of the times when you actually go to an interview, or if you're meeting with a recruiter, whether it's over the phone, with a phone screening, or even a face-to-face interview, it may be at a career fair. And so some of the things that you want to look at in that 30-second personal commercial is an opportunity for you to stand out from the crowd. And there's a couple of key things that you want to include in this to be able to really express who you are. And one of those things is how do you answer the question, tell me about yourself. And I think it's crucial that you think about and you prepare on how you're going to answer that question. Because just like any other competition in athletics, it's the same thing when you're competing for a job opportunity. You want to prepare for what you're going to say when you're asked that question. Tell me about yourself. And there's some key ingredients I think you should include in that. I think one of those things is that you want to highlight some of the accomplishments that you've taken on as an athlete. It's not always work experience. A lot of times it can actually be some of the teamwork accomplishments. It could be volunteer experience that you've used. It could be a number of opportunities and leadership roles that you've taken on. But I think the key piece from those things is not just highlighting what you did, but at the end of the day, how does that relate to the new company? Because I think it's important when you're sitting down with a recruiter or an employer, one of the key ingredients they want to find out from you is why you. How do you set yourself apart? Why are you different? Why should I take the time and the energy? And most importantly, why should I spend the money in training you and bringing you onto my company when I'm not sure exactly what you're all about? So I think you need to be able to highlight your skill sets and how they're going to transition into the new company. I think you need to be able to follow up those accomplishments of how you can make an immediate impact with that organization. I mean, most companies nationwide are looking for somebody who's going to be able to come in and make an immediate impact with their organization. So you got to really think about how can you answer that question and what your background does to provide that resource. I think a lot of it does go back to your athletic experience, and if there's one key that I can share with you from the companies that we talk with, it's always about the performance, teamwork, the ability to overcome obstacles, the time management expectations that come with what you've done as an athlete. And if you can take all of those things and put them into your 30-second commercial and really explain to this employer why you will make an immediate impact in their organization, I guarantee you that they're going to take the time to set you apart from the rest of the applicants in order to make a decision on bringing you in face-to-face, and then again ultimately making the decision of whether they're going to invest their money, time, energy, and resources to train you, bring you on board to make an impact. And one of the keys when you're getting your 30-second personal commercial together is you don't want this to come across as though it's screened or memorized or it's something that sounds robotic. It needs to be something that's very fluid. Obviously, practice makes perfect, and so it's important that you take the time to really come across and really be precise with what you're trying to get across to that employer. They need to understand exactly who you are, what your experiences are that can be added to that organization and how it's going to make an immediate impact. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you want to be able to explain how you're going to make that impact by joining their team. You want to set yourself apart, but you also want it to come across so that it's, again, not candid. It's something that has certainly been worked on and that you can explain it and it comes across fluid to the employer and recruiter. Let me just give you a brief glimpse of what a 30-second personal commercial may look like. Hi, my name is Chad Smith. I am a marketing degree graduate. I have a 3.2 GPA, and I was a student athlete. I played both college football and college baseball. I'm seeking an opportunity where I can move into a growing organization that offers a lot of room for development, programs, and training. My background, of course, is coming as an athlete. I was a team captain on the baseball team, and I was also the president of my fraternity. And one of the things I learned from the leadership roles that I had was the ability to lead other people to a common goal. And I want to find an organization that provides the same type of opportunities for me, because I would like to be able to take those same skill sets that I gained through my college experience and my athletic experience and how to tie that into your organization. I also would love to be searching for a job that offers a full-time opportunity, one that's going to pay me based on my performance, and I want to be a part of a team so that we can accomplish goals together. If that's something that makes sense and that's what you guys are offering, then I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you more. And I think another key piece of this 30-second commercial is how do you set up the follow-up? Because obviously, with the statements that you make, you're going to be receiving follow-up questions from that recruiter or that employer. And so you've got to be able to prepare to elaborate on some of those questions. At the end of the day, like anything else, you want to prepare to close the opportunity with this organization. And if it's a position that you really want, you need to be able to set that up so that at the end of your conversation, you really need to be able to follow up with the question of, where do we do moving forward? Can I provide you a copy of my resume? is there a business card that I can get from you in order to send in some additional information about my experience and background? Of course, you're not always going to have 30 seconds or even a couple minutes, and you may not even, you may have to actually give it out a lot faster. But that just kind of gives you the overview of how to take what you've done as an athlete, and to be able to articulate that to a company and how you can make an impact on what you're looking for with that organization.
Okay, so he talks about, the importance of taking his leadership roles and student athletes and whatnot. You don't need to worry about that. Obviously, we're talking about two different things, but he has a lot of good points, which is why we show that clip. He talks about the leadership skills that he has obtained from his sporting, from sports. Where are some places that you guys have had the opportunity to obtain leadership roles?
Volunteer as a teacher's
Ooh,
assistant.
great. Okay, so volunteer work. Perfect. Anywhere else?
At church, we worship.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so volunteer work, church, yeah. Anything else?
We also help with neighborhood community work.
Okay. What else though, guys? Other than the volunteer work you do, what do almost all of you have? What, say a little louder?
Experience.
You guys all usually have a wealth of experience, right? You have a past job that you're able to talk about. This is what we want to hear in your 30-second commercial. We want to hear about the skills you've obtained. You may not have gone to college. Not all of you have gone to college or higher education, but you definitely had a past work experience where you've been able to obtain the skills that you talk about, right? That you need in your job goal. So, based on your ONET description, everyone printed that out, or everyone has that, right, in the folder? I want you to go through it. Highlight it, circle it, whatever you need to do, but I need you to email me and Wilma next week with this 2 lists. So write this down. One list, or is called skills I have, and the second list is skills I don't have. So based on that ONET description, you're going to go through it, you're going to read it. It's going to say to be in order. The music's throwing me off. In order to be an administrative assistant, you need to know Microsoft Word, Microsoft Publisher, Microsoft Excel. The different skills, those hard skills that we talked about. And I want you to make a list of skills I have. So if you know Word, if you know Publisher, then put them in that list. If there's still things you need to learn, put them in the skills I need list.
Is this based on your job goal? Skills that are listed there?
Yeah, so you all, in your folders, you have an ONET description of your job goal, right? Does everyone know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So based on that, you have to read through that list and highlight it, underline it, whatever it is, but make 2 lists. One of the skills you have and one of the skills that you need.
You keep saying draft. I forgot what that is.
I'm sorry,
You keep saying draft. What is it?
a draft? It's like before you write a rough draft before you turn in a final paper. So it's like a work in progress. That's not helping you. What are you looking at? Are you looking at the draft up here? Don't worry about this yet. I want to talk about the ONET. Okay? So you're making 2 lists. Does everyone have that?
Yes.
Skills I have and skills I need. You can email it to us, and it can be that simple. Or you can write it down, whatever is easiest for you. I just need you to email both of us those 2 lists by next week. Skills you have and skills you need. Then, the second piece of your homework, since we got a little behind, is to write a draft of your 30-second commercial. The 30-second commercial is what we talked about earlier and what we just watched that little clip on, okay? It's the answer to the tell me about yourself question that you guys all love.
That's what I'm saying. What's
A draft is a rough copy. If you get, okay, so you all have your TNS 1 folders out, right? Can you get them out? 'Cause I forget what page it is.
It's page 9.
Page 9, is that where we talk about it? Okay. So we have 10 minutes left. Let's read over this real quick. Do you want to go first? I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Andrea.
Andrea. Do you want to read the first paragraph for me?
Yes, developing a 30-second commercial. What is it? One of the keys to successful interviewing and networking is to make a really strong first impression. One of the first opportunities is to make this impression is often in response to the question, tell me about yourself. The answer is your personal commercial. It is essentially an overall of your experience, skills, strengths, accomplishments, and goals, all in 30 seconds.
You still need your book?
Pardon me?
You need your book?
I got my book. You reading what you gave out, paperwork you gave out for me?
Nope, we're reading from our book.
Go.
It's page 9. Okay.
Thank you.
So when will I use it? Who wants to read next? Anna?
What will I use it? You will use your 30-second commercial throughout your professional life. Some relevant uses include at an interview, in a cover letter to highlight your background and key abilities, at professional networking events when you are asked to introduce yourself, in cold calling employers for an internship or a future job,
Great.
when introducing yourself to a potential employer at a career fair.
What should I include in my 30-second commercial? The structure of a 30-second commercial generally follows this pattern. 1, you're going to introduce yourself, if it's appropriate, because you guys need to keep in mind, even though we're going to develop a script and you're going to have a 30-second commercial, you need to, modify it each time you meet someone. So not all situations it's going to be appropriate to introduce yourself again, because you could have been talking to the person for 10 minutes. Alright, so 1, introduce yourself. 2, discuss your experience, including your training and any relevant work experience. 3, state a strength or skill in which they would be interested. 4, follow that with an accomplishment or 2 that proves you have that skill. It can be related to training and work, internship, or a volunteer experience, which is work or an internship experience. But you want to have experience to back it up. So just like in that example we watched, the guy talked about sports and different sporting events and how many goals he scored or whatever. You want to be able to say what makes you a great administrative assistant, or where you have those customer service skills, and they can come from all different experiences that you may have previously had. 5, describe your employment goal. What are you looking for now and or in the future? And 6, most importantly, tell how you can immediately benefit the company. So you want to, I don't know if that's most important, but you want to definitely talk about what kind of job goal you're looking for. So on the next page, on page 11, I want you guys to fill this out for homework. Okay? So your homework is 2 things. 1, you're going to fill out page 11, and you're going to make those 2 lists based on your own ed description of the skills that you have and the skills that you need. Then, after you answer all those questions on page 11, you're going to enter as much as, I want you to write it in a paragraph form below. Okay? What should I keep in mind about developing my 30-second commercial? Practice, practice, practice. Your 30-second commercial should be conversational and natural. Although prepared in advance, it should never sound memorized. You want to appear confident, enthusiastic, poised, and professional. Make it memorable but not outrageous. You're competing with many other qualified candidates. Your commercial should allow you to stand out a bit from the crowd. Whether it is the vocabulary you choose or a specific achievement you mention, you want to engage your listener and give them an opportunity to see your personality. So you want to have more of that conversation, right? And you want to do something, you want to say something that's memorable. If you're a HR manager interviewing people, you're going to be interviewing, you interview so many people during one day, especially at a career fair. So you want to say something where you can set yourself apart, you know? You want to be able to refer to that, going back to them and say, oh, no, I'm the person we spoke about a lot about, how we have in common, you know, that I have 30 years of experience, or whatever it is, you want to try and say something that sets yourself apart a little bit from the crowd. Page 10. Who wants to read that paragraph? Michael? You on page 10?
No.
Okay. Dale, are you there?
Be prepared for follow-up questions, especially if this is an interview. You may be asked for more information or to elaborate on something you said, which will keep the conversation going. Part of your strategy is to develop a rapport with the interviewer, and a good commercial and follow-up will help to set up a positive tone.
Keep going.
Vary your closings to fit the circumstances. For an interview, focus on how you can benefit the company or how you fit the particular position is appropriate. At a networking center, event, or career fair, you want to be proactive and may want to consider an action question. May I send you a resume, or may I have your business card to contact you?
Great. So and we're going to leave off there, but we're going to talk a little bit more next class about the importance of having that closing, okay? So for homework, and you have a week to do it, you want to answer these questions on page 11, and then you want to just write a short paragraph or what you can for your 30-second commercial, and then I want those 2 lists based on your own description.
Excuse me, what, is it this folder TNS 1 for page 11?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it should say questions to think about in developing your 30-second commercial at the top.
What page is that?
I think it's page 11.
Page 11. What else? Oh, right here?
Yeah. Can one of you open to page 11 in your book? I just want to make sure we're on the same book. Do you have the developing professional?
Yes. Okay. You could read the other thing. Thank you,
Yep. Okay.
Next one, a short paragraph.
I want you to fill those questions out, and then I want you to write that. There's space provided at the bottom of page 11. That's where you're going to write out your 30-second commercial. You're going to get started. This is just the start of it, guys. So do what you can. Fill out those questions. And then based on the questions, you're able to... Based on the questions, that's why we have the questions first. Based on your answers, you're able to kind of develop a little bit more of a narrative that you're going to write in below. Oh, thank you so much, Anna. So everyone wipe down. Anna's passing out the wipes. And I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Anna's on top of it.